I've been night hiking the past couple nights because, you know, Canada. But this stretch specifically, Mount Shasta's post office is not open on Saturday. So I need to get there by 5 p.m. And my stove and perk stove from where we had sent it ahead for the 24-hour challenge. Not cooking is okay, but I sure do miss my hot dinner at night. I can deal with not cooking for breakfast and lunch, even though I prefer it, but it does save time, and like I said, Canada.
Little spike. Gonna have to put up a deer crossing sign.
I'm between a mile and a mile and a half away from the road. Perk is already there. He says it's a ghost town. And it's a little bit after 3, so I really hope one of us makes it in time. Perk just texted me and said that he got a ride with a guy named Jeff in a white pickup and gave me his number and said for me to text him when I got to the road. The problem is this is like at the interstate on a ramp, so it's not the easiest hitch in the world, since it's probably not a likely exit for people to take. But anyway, I guess Perk just got a ride to Dunsmuir, which is a portion of the way to Mount Shasta. He didn't go all the way, so I guess this Jeff is willing to take me there too, and maybe from there it'll be easier to hitch. I don't know. It sounds like there's at least a gas station there at that exit, so we'll see what happens. I see what Perk was talking about, ghost town. I've had one car go by, so yeah. He's still stuck in Dunsmuir. I don't know if we're gonna make it to the post office or not on time. I hope so. So we just got a text from the Jeff fella. Not sure if he's willing to take me all the way to Shasta. Probably not, I assume. That's why he dropped Perk in Dunsmuir, but I hope so. Got about an hour and 15 minutes until the post office closes. Alright, so made it here with Perk to the next stop along the way. That Jeff apparently lives right there next to the trail, so he just gives folks a ride up here because apparently our chances are greater up here with this, but I don't know. 1 hour to go. Unless we get a ride in like 3 minutes, I reckon I'm gonna have to bounce this stuff forward. Well, we did not make it to the post office in time. The woman, we were gonna be like a few minutes late, and Perk called and she's like, we close at 5, so we're not gonna make it to get our package, but we are here at this Best Western treehouse. We just got a ride from some nice people from Chile who are touring the US, and they said, we do what you do in Chile. So I don't know, it's really cool. Travelers always help travelers, it's crazy. But now we're gonna just get over the fact that we can't get our packages and that we have to go another week without cooking, whatever, and we're gonna go and enjoy this awesome hotel and a hot tub. Yesterday was nice. Hakuna Matata, which is a lady who hiked the Appalachian Trail at the same time we did with her mom, who, Bluebird, was 72 years old at the time, came to Mount Shasta probably, I don't know, about 7:30 p.m. the night that we got into town. We hung out in the hot tub and just, you know, talked, caught up and everything. But she knows what hikers need, and, you know, she brought us some Ziploc bags, and she brought us some Q-tips and just things that, as a hiker, it's difficult to sometimes get in a small amount. And she got us dinner and breakfast and put us up at the hotel, ran us all around town to do errands and things like that. So it was really nice. And then she gave us a ride back to the trailhead, crossed mile 1500, and then as it got dark, Perk saw 2 bears. He was just ahead of me a little bit at the time, but he saw 2 bears, and then as we were discussing the bears, he got stung 3 times by yellow jackets. So it was an exciting couple hours back on the trail. Not sure how many miles I'm aiming for today yet, but got a late start at about 9. I've just been so tired. I haven't taken any time off, really significant time, since that 62-mile push. So, but I'm a little whooped. But gotta make miles because Canada is waiting. Since I'm still stoveless and I just couldn't bear to do wraps again, especially because I was doing like tuna wraps and just I got some English muffins and some other goodies, but this is like my bread source anyway. So we'll see how this goes, and if I hate it more than tortilla, then then I'll get tortilla again. So just experimenting and trying to get creative. I'm also trying to just mix up my snacks. I mean, just try to keep things interesting. Perk says until he learns better. This is the mustache orchid. So a mustache. Does anyone know what kind of orchid this is? If it is indeed an orchid, it kind of looks like a pitcher plant, but it's not. I don't know if I'm imagining it or the scenery around me is starting to look less desertish. I don't know if I'm finally just seeing it transition into Oregon, which is less than 200 miles away, or I don't know, but it looks a lot better than the desert, and I'm starting to really enjoy the views around me. It is a very beautiful evening. These clouds are just so cool looking. And the blues of the mountains in the distance. And the fire in the sky. Oh, cute little butt. It is pretty chilly this morning. Heading into Etna today, hopefully, as long as there's a hitch waiting when I get to the road. But, you know, this morning I realized how much I really miss cooking breakfast and really just hot coffee, even if it is instant coffee. And, you know, I thought like maybe for another part of this trail or like the CDT that I might attempt going stoveless and see how I like it. Maybe if I started a through hike off stoveless after, like, you know, not backpacking for a little while, I could get in that mindset, but y'all, it's been hard. I thought that I really just missed dinner, but I'm really starting to miss breakfast now too. And as far as going stoveless on the rest of this trail, once I get that stove back, I'm hanging on to it for dear life, especially since it's starting to get chilly in the mornings and at night. I like some hot chocolate at night and some hot coffee in the morning. Well, just a little bit earlier, I was walking along a ridge and I come across two guys, and they looked like through hikers, and started talking to them, and I reckon I wasn't woke up enough because it was John Z and Jupiter with Jupiter Hikes. I don't know if any of y'all followed his Eastern Continental Trail through hike, but anyway, he holds the fastest known time, the FKT, unsupported, for the Florida Trail. And then John Z holds the Colorado Trail FKT unsupported. And he's a triple crowner. So it was kind of neat. I've followed both of them through social media for a while. You know, they're just well known in the world of backpacking. So it was just a pleasant surprise to run into them, and they're just out here, you know, hiking just a little section, just enjoying the trail and Mount Shasta. And so anyway, yeah, it's just funny the folks that you run into and that you follow online, and then poof, there they are out here, you know, enjoying nature too. So anyway, it was awesome meeting them, and was just kind of a cool way to start the day. I have another English muffin, this time with summer sausage, avocado, and spinach. Just kidding, I lied. It's actually salami. I want to share this with y'all for 2 reasons. So here it goes. Alright, the post office that was not very nice on Friday. This is Mount Shasta post office. We decided we would just not push it, you know. I understand they don't want to stay open late. They have every right to do so. I get it. But you don't have to be hateful when you say it. Whatever. Let that go. We decided that we would bounce the packages ahead, 3 of them that I have, and 1 has perk stuff in it, to Syed Valley. Call the post office, and a man answers, and I'm really glad it's not the same woman. So I'm like, yes, sir. I explained my situation, that I'm on the trail, didn't make it in time, north of there now. And he says, you have to come in. We can't bounce them ahead without you coming in here. And he barks too. You know, I told him, like, I've definitely bounced packages from one location to another over the phone before, as have a lot of my fellow thru-hikers. So thinking maybe he's misunderstanding, and he's like, you have to come in to do that. Just nasty and bitter, hateful the whole time, just spewing from him, you know. So right now I'm exploring my options as far as what I can do to get my packages, because I am no longer in Mount Shasta and I need to get to Canada, so I really don't have time to get a hitch way back there and make sure I get, you know, within their hours and all that. So anyway, the reason I tell y'all this, 2 reasons. One, if you're doing an extended section hike that comes through this area, make sure if you send a resupply to Mount Shasta that you get there in time for it, or if you're, you know, planning a through hike. I just don't recommend dealing with this post office, because most of the ones I've dealt with have been very kind and helpful. And anyway, the second reason, if you are in a job that you hate or that you really don't enjoy, like if you don't enjoy dealing with people, not everyone can be people, right? I mean, it takes all kinds of kinds to make the world go round. Find something that makes you happy. Life is too short to not be happy, to be miserable, and to spread your hatefulness to other people. So if you find yourself being hateful to people, you know, that haven't been hateful to you first, then like reevaluate that, you know? Find out, like, do I need to swap careers? Do I need to create my own business and do my own thing that'll make me happy? I don't know. But find it, because there are just too few days on this beautiful world to spend them miserable. There are cars passing us. They say you can never forget how to ride a bicycle. I'm kind of questioning that. The hiker hut has backs that you can use, which is awesome, as long as we don't, like, you know, wreck. How did you get off trail? Oh, I was videoing Perk riding a bicycle while I was riding a bicycle. I want to ride my bicycle. They're so cute. Hey! Hey! Oh, wait. Master. Go back to the woods where you're safe. Etna was just a great place. Everybody I ran into was very friendly. Even the lady at the supermarket checking us out, like, was super friendly. Was like, hey, do you have any change you want to get rid of? Even if you're using a debit card, I can knock the change off of your price, charge the rest on your card. That way you don't have the weight of all this extra change, which is something hikers are always trying to get rid of, their change. So it's like, just little small details like that really make a place. So Etna is a very, very hiker-friendly town. I highly recommend it. Also in Etna, this nice man named Doug at the post office was so helpful. He called Mount Shasta and said, look, I've got this hiker in front of me. She has her ID. I will email it to you, but please forward her packages for her to such and such location. So luckily he got that handled, got to the road to go to Etna, and there was a sign up going north across the road on the trail saying that there was a fire closure, that you cannot continue north. And I'd heard about it from some southbounders that managed to get through last minute. But so there's a fire that's knocking off about 14 miles or so of the PCT. We looked at the options, and for me, like, I have to touch the official trail and what's open. Everyone was, you know, really encouraging us to just skip ahead to Sayad Valley. I can't do that and feel like I thru-hiked the PCT. Like, I came out here to hike the trail. So the trail closure is from the road to Etna, which I believe is Highway 3, and it was closed until Kidder Creek Trail, where that trail hits the PCT. So the junction between Kidder Creek Trail and the PCT, and then south of there, like 14 miles to Highway 3 is closed. Going to Sayad Valley would have cut off like 50 miles of trail and cut off like 40 miles of it that was open. And I just can't do that. So anyway, this Kidder Creek side trail that I'm on right now, this side trail is 4.6 miles, and then it'll junction to the PCT at the north end of the fire closure. So I'm not skipping any official trail. Because of this fire closure, the group I was around is kind of all busted up. Some skipped ahead to Sayad Valley, some left out yesterday when I zeroed, and but Perk and I are still together. We both started on this trail this morning together, so anyway, that's just how the trail works. Eventually, you know, we'll all run into each other and, you know, see each other again, but yeah, things like this make the trail logistically a little difficult, much more difficult than the AT. You know, the AT is very straightforward. Wow, you can barely see the mountains when I just got over this ridge. So here I am. This is the official Kidder Creek trailhead where it junctions with the PCT. So this is where the official north end of the closure is. So that way is the PCT south. So I have still officially been on the trail on the north and south end of the closure that is open. We need to be in Sayad Valley at the post office tomorrow by preferably noon. That's when they open, but they're only open from noon to 1:30, I think. So that's 40 miles away from pretty much where I am right now. And we've already done, like, I don't know, side trails and all, probably like 7 miles today. So we're just gonna have to walk through the night to get there in time to not have to deal with the nightmare of balancing packages and all. And this is why I tell y'all who are planning through hikes, it's just so much easier to not have to worry about resupply packages and things like that. Just resupply as you go along. And, you know, I'd rather deal with poor options than like stressing over stuff like this. The problem is, if it was just food, it would be one thing, but Perk has shoes there. I have shoes there from Sierra City that I couldn't get because they didn't get there on time. I reckon Perk and I are gonna pull an all-nighter, and although it's not a 24-hour challenge, it's gonna kind of feel like it actually is, because we have to do a certain amount in that time period. So, but hey, we'll be knocking out miles, and we'll be getting to Canada in a more reasonable time, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. And the good news with Sayad Valley is you don't have to hitch into there, so we're not at anyone else's mercy but our own to get to that place at the right time. So just up to us and our little legs. There's another reason that I want to get to Sayad Valley. Another package, several packages waiting, but one of them is a new pack. So I have been using this Hyperlight Mountain Gear Southwest 3400, and you know, I really have loved it until a certain point. The Osprey's policy, I mean, it's like a lifetime warranty pretty much, and anything happens they'll either repair it or replace it. So I know not all companies can do that, especially smaller ones. So, but I expected like they would have some kind of repair kit or something, and basically the woman told me to just duct tape it. Fine, no big deal. Basically they said I would have to wait till after my thru-hike to send it in for repair, but since it's kind of rubbing my back raw anyway, you know, I'm just gonna swap packs, and this way I can really compare the two, because those were the two that I was having trouble deciding between the Z-Packs Arc Haul and the HMG Southwest 3400. Those were the two that I was kind of debating between before I started. So I just heard wonderful things about HMG. Figured I'd give it a shot. All the folks that I've seen on the trail with this pack haven't had any issues with this, you know. They've all loved theirs, and I've seen a lot of HMG packs out here. So not saying it's not a good pack, not saying it won't work for you, just saying customer service isn't as good as Osprey and their guarantees and things like that. But, you know, again, not all companies can do that. And, you know, not saying it's a bad pack, but I'll be able to compare and contrast the two. And I am a little over halfway now, but, you know, pretty close to halfway. And so I can, you know, let y'all know what I think about both of those packs once I get done. Wow, you can really see the smoky area there. This buck. It's so smoky. I wonder what these animals think. Like, what in the world? What's up? Oh, she's like, that's too close. That was the limit. One cool thing about today is that I crossed mile 1600. I had to make my own little rock mile marker since the actual 1600 was in the closure area, but that's okay. It's kind of fun building it anyway, so. But yeah, 1600 miles, so only a little over 1,000 to go before I get to Canada. So it's like 7:30 p.m. and right now I have exactly 30 miles to Sayad Valley, so I'm just feeling kind of blah. The smoke all day has just kind of set like a dreamy, sleepy mood, so just kind of dreary. But hopefully once the sun goes down, I won't notice that as much. Well, it is past 11 o'clock and I have like 22.5 miles to go. Still no sign of Perk. Hoping that he'll take a break and I'll catch him. It's more fun to not hike with somebody else. Break time. Just propping my feet up for a little bit. I just woke up from a little break / nap. This is my second little nap. And I literally just like laid out on the trail right down there, laid my head on my pack, and earlier I threw my tent. I just grabbed it out of there and just like wrapped it around me, so like a little burrito. I've got about 13 miles to town, got about 6 hours to do it in to get there by 1. Yeah, but I'm gonna get there sooner than that.